Dhruvi.
Good morning, everyone. Before starting with this session, let's have our national anthem. Good morning, eminent guests, faculties, budding architects, and everyone present here. I, Dhruvi Khadaita, on behalf of SOA IPS Academy, Indore, welcome you all to the valedictory session of the third chapter of International Conference PACE. We sincerely apologize for starting this session a little late due to availability of our chief guest, architect Habib Khan sir. He will be joining us shortly. Until then, we shall start the session. As we all know, this year's theme was Indigenous C2C Conception to Construction. This conference emphasized on the indigenous architectural practices and stress on the fact that the word indigenous is not exclusive to any one nation. It has provided us an excellent opportunity and a platform to join hands together and share new ideas and knowledge on the topic indigenous. We have covered a variety of topics like Haveli temples at Jaipur, native places, climate change and adaptation, etc. It also incorporates the concern of the future and how the nativity of architectural practices may just be what we need to build a better and viable place for the generations to come. Now, I would request architect Suman Sharma ma'am to give a brief about IPSA Design Trophy, which was a student design competition.
Thank you, Dhruvi. A very good morning to all the dignitaries present here, my fellow friends, and my dear students. On behalf of School of Architecture IPS Academy and as a IPSA Design Trophy Coordinator, it's my pleasure to take this opportunity to welcome you all and provide you a brief description about the IPSA Design Trophy. As we all know that every alternate year, our institute organizes an international conference named PACE, and IPSA Trophy, which is a student design competition, is an integral part of it. It is to encourage bright minds to come forward. This time, an idea of conference is to revive the indigenous knowledge system and its application in current world scenario. Thus, taking this thought ahead, we believe that when a designer has reference for nature, the result can be wonderful. So, why not to create a wonderland, a home away from the home, calm and in harmony in nature? Thus, through a life site of 8 acres with a placid lake bounded by lush green vegetation, students were encouraged to explore innovative and indigenous techniques to develop spaces in connect with nature. Participants were challenged to retain lush green environment of the site and conceive a fabulous resort facility. It's a dream place capable of inspiring the imagination of every guest who visits and offering a unique and unforgettable holiday experience. The site would restrict the vehicular entry at the gate and have 3 major facilities. That is, first, it accommodates 22 guest villas of 85 square meter each, having a sleeping and sitting spaces, outdoor spaces for relaxation. These villas should be awaiting the lake. Second facility is tree houses. 8 number of tree houses of 60 square meter each are proposed. This will offer our guests an opportunity to experience this idyllic location nestled up in the air with birds in tree. Third is dining facility for 50 seaters. Participants were suggested to go out of the box and think something creative to make it an experience destination rather than a regular restaurant. It may be near the lake, floating on the lake, or above it in the trees, whatever they can conceptualize. And we got a wonderful response for it. A student could participate in any of the mentioned categories. This year, around 122 participants in a group of 4 and 3. And I could proudly say that we received 53 entries from all around the country, out of which in first round, 5 groups from each category, that is top 15 was selected for second and final round. The jury member for the first round were architect Kalpana Baba, Dr. Manita Saxena, architect Sachin Paliwal, and architect Neelam Kushwa. I pay my deep regards and thanks to all the jury members. The second round was scheduled in the month of December, and participants were asked to appear in an online jury. On the basis of the presentation given by the participants and the work done, top 3 from all the categories were shortlisted by the eminent jury members. Architect Sanjay Patil from Nasik, architect Surendra Bagha from Chandigarh, and architect Tanuja Kanvende from New Delhi. The work of all the 5 groups were wonderful, and it was not an easy task to shortlist 3 out of. I would like to pay my express sincere thanks to all the jury members for sharing their ideas, comments, and giving their valuable time. The prize money for first winner is 25,000. For second winner is 15,000 and for third winner, it's 10,000. I know all of you are very excited for the result. It will be announced soon. So be patient. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to request our principal ma'am, Dr. Manita Saxena ma'am, to commence the session by announcing the winners of IPSA Design Trophy.
Very good morning, everyone. On the valedictory day of International Conference Phase 3, C2C. Emphasis of International Conference Phase 3 is on indigenous pattern in architecture. Indigenous architecture is a global phenomenon. It is an expression of cultural belief of particular location. As the buildings mimic the local shift in the architecture, yet reflects reconstituted and reinvented ideas of indigenous place and space. It also anticipates the future needs and unriddle the aboriginal practices, which can achieve a better and sustainable built environment. International Conference provided an excellent opportunity and a platform to architects, engineers, planners, academicians, researchers, and students to join hands together and share new ideas and knowledge on the topic. Contained within the conference is a platform for 3 highlights. I can say spotlights. First is technical session of the International Conference, research papers. Second is IPSA Design Trophy. And the third one is proceedings of research paper. To throw some lights on the IPSA Design Trophy, I know Suman Madam has already explained the brief of and the concept, our idea behind the IPSA Design Trophy, but let me give some time to explain in brief. It is we have received about participation from 124 students around India. Very enthusiastic and good participation was received from different colleges. A glimpse of the bright future was clearly visible in the form of entries. Certainly, we applaud all the entries and appreciate the spade work of the students. To crown the champions of the trophy, a handsome amount of 1.5 lakh was announced by architect Achal Chaudhary, president of IPS Academy. Now, it was our great pleasure to announce the winners of Design Trophy in 3 categories. So it's a time to reveal the names of winners and award the title, award the prize. The winners of trophies in Tree House. So let me start from the last prize, third prize of Tree House. It goes to Ananya Totla from IPS Academy, Indore. Second prize under the category of Tree House goes to Sumant and Shreya S. Upadhyaya from MNIT Bhopal. And first prize again goes to Naman Kansal, Garima Durve, and Hinali Dasatre from MNIT Bhopal. So let's have a big hand of applause for all winners of Tree House. Next is the dining facility. In the category of dining facility, third prize goes to Sarthak Goel, Anurup Arya, and Vitali Bajaj. And one more candidate participant, Apurva Kaushal from NIT Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh. Second prize, Jahanvi Raj and V. Vishlini from NIT Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh. First prize, Pratik Rotre, Jagdish Samal, Durgesh Nadini Mohapatra, and Jatin Raut from Pilu Modi College of Architecture, Cuttack, Odisha. In category of guest villas, third prize goes to Vishal Parashar and Royal Sharma from NIT Hamirpur, Himachal Pradesh. Second prize under the guest villa category, Ayush Pawar, Insia Farhula, Mustafa Hassan, Savi Soni from School of Architecture, IPS Academy, Indore. And first prize in this category goes to Damrela Sai Prashanti, Arun Kumar and Fernandez K. Ameri from KLS Goeta Institute of Technology, Belgaum, Karnataka. So, congratulations to all winners. I'm looking forward to meet you all again with the same spirit in PACE 4 2024. Rest assured, it will be offline only in IPSA campus only. Congratulations, all winners, and thank you. Stay here for the till our guest joins our conference. Very soon he will be here to bless you all. Thank you.
Let's see presentations of some winning entries. We had 3 categories this year, as Manita ma'am said. First category was guest villa, second is dining facility, and third is tree house. Let's see presentation of our first category, that is guest villa. May we have our first presentation, that is of KLS Gogte Institute of Technology with code number PC303.
This is PC303 guest villa. Actually Indore is a popular for it is located in the Madhya Pradesh, and it is famous for the magnificent monuments, and the arts and crafts of Indore are influenced by the neighboring states. And Indore has a mixed cultural background with the strong traces of the Malwa influence. And coming to the climate, the highest temperature is on April to May, that is of 40 degrees Celsius, and the lowest temperature is December to January, that is 10 degrees Celsius, and the precipitation is on July, that is 256 to 3 mm. The humidity is 54%, and the population is 31,73,445. The soil is a medium black soil. Understanding of the brief, owning to the brief, the villas stand true to the idea of the nature and indigenous architecture following the contemporary line. Our approach was to study the nature and the environment and extract its essence and adopt to it. The design strategies of climate which we use in our design is the clear story windows with the projecting shades provide with diffused light to create uniform ambient lighting to the interiors. It helps in producing the effective stack effect for the better ventilation, and the skylights can be used to increase ventilation rate of rooms, and eaves and the shading devices can protect the windows from the direct sunlight in the summer and also in winter. These 2 sketches will explain about the water body, how it's going to be, and the transpiration and the stone masonry were effective for the retaining heat in the winter as well as the keeping cool in summer. And coming to the sun path, here have the partial northeast winds and the southwest winds, and we categorize into 3, that is side zoning, massing, and the circulation. The side zoning is of view water body is the main heart of the site, and the view zone and the noisy zone. And coming to the massing, the villas are zoned around the lake in the form of linear and cluster pattern, and the reception and the lobby is zoned at the entrance of the site, and dining is placed beside the reception, and there is no vehicular entrance in the main core of the site. And this is the roof plan of the site, and this is the main entrance to the villa, that is resort. Here we have the parking area, and from here
I don't think your slideshow is playing.
Your only first slide is showing.
Yes, your slideshow is not playing.
Can you click on the slideshow and it's on the first screen only?
Now, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
now
on
we can see the second slide.
Yes, ma'am. This is the guest villas, what we have designed. So the main heart of the site is the lake. So by keeping that in point, we have designed all the guest villas around it. So and also according to that, landscape is the main theme in the site planning. So guest villas and landscape will go hand in hand. So and also keeping the climate responsive, we have designed our guest villas. So this sketch shows the how the guest villa we have designed. So it is like roof with broad eaves to provide sun shade from direct solar radiation and protection from driving rain. This sketch explains clearly how we have designed our guest villa, and this above picture will explain how our guest villas was seen towards the lake. Sir, is third screen is visible?
Yes, it's visible.
And also by keeping the point has earthquake resistance, piles, raft piles and everything. So the structure will get balanced because it is at the side of the lake. So we can clearly understand it is earthquake resistant. So and also reception, swimming pool, dining we have designed. So these will act as a support to things to the guest villas. And also we have designed a decks which used as a chilling areas for the visitors. And also we have designed a fire camp which was in the above the water, so it has like a chilling area. And also we have designed landscape. Landscape is not just a plant, but we have designed by keeping a mosquito repellent. So the rosemary, citronella, mint, basil, lavender, these are the landscape we have used in our design, which has a mosquito repellent, and also it gives a colorful aesthetics to the villas. Ma'am, is my fourth sheet is...
Actually, I think you should blow up that site plan because it's not
Yes, ma'am.
really very clearly visible. So if you could blow up so the jurors will get an opportunity to
Ma'am,
see
now,
it
ma'am.
clearly. Yes.
Yes, no, still you have to
This is
remove
fourth.
it.
Can you make your screen on the full screen like a slideshow? Because still it's not visible. It's in the normal mode only.
1 minute, sir.
You can press F5.
Now, sir.
I think the plan is on the fifth sheet. Detailed plan is on the fifth sheet.
This one, sir. No.
You can just the entire screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stop sharing your screen and just share your entire screen.
Now, sir.
It's coming.
And then the second part is like little it is raised above. So why we have taken in this form? Because so the thing is like living room is below and bedroom is above. So if we design in such a way, even living room will have a view of lake, and also bedroom will have a view of lake. So if we have designed in this form, only bedroom will get the view. By keeping the point as a view in our mind, we have designed this kind of form. And also it is used like a has a water bodies in between it, like it gives aesthetics to the building. So in the last picture, we can see how the form is reacting to the lake. And this picture, the first picture explains linear pattern, how it looks near the lake, and also this explains, second picture will explain cluster pattern. So coming to the guest villa details, so two guest villas will share one common
To the
space.
next one.
Is my screen is visible?
Yes, yes, it's
Is my
visible.
screen visible? So this is one guest villa and this is another guest villa. So these two will share the common space, and there is a planter box in between. So it has as a buffer zone. So and also we have provided water body. So it just gives like a good aesthetics, and also the children who used to come to the guest villa, they used to have some water games, like they can enjoy the water body by keeping there. So the living room is below, and there was a deck we have provided. So the deck and living room will have a view of lake. And there is a staircase in the living room, so it leads to the first floor. It contains balcony, bedroom, and bathroom. And also we have designed our bedroom so modernly. So people nowadays, they are showing interest towards the nature, and also they are showing towards the modernism. So and also we have designed bathroom not only like normal, we have designed by keeping in mind nature. So in bathroom we provided stepping stones. So instead of having normal, it is like a sum of aesthetics, natural aesthetics. And coming to the details, as it is, we have shown our guest villas aesthetics, vernacular and to contemporary. So as it is a slopey roof, we have shown gutters. And also pocket, we instead of using normal doors, we have used pocket door details. The total bedroom is raised above the columns. So the columns which we have provided is 200 mm diameter columns, and also there is a secondary columns which is 75 mm. Instead of coming to the staircase detail, instead of using normal staircase, we have used a aesthetical staircase. So the riser will be 44 mm thick, and also roof, we can clearly see how roof exploded here, rafters, battens and purlins. It is like a contemporary traditional architecture we used in this guest villa. So, sir, if you give permission, can I play the video?
Yes, you can.
And also the sheet explains about the views. This is fire camp, living room in the guest villa, waiting area, and this overall isometric view of how guest villas is responding to the lake. And also here we can see in the bedroom view how the bedrooms is like treated with modernism and lighting, and also it is clear and living room is clearly aesthetically with staircase and everything. So can I share my video, ma'am?
Yes, you can show your video.
Thank you, ma'am. It is 2 minutes video, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen is visible?
Yes, yes, it is visible. Yes, you
Can I
can play.
Now, ma'am?
Yes, yes, we can see. It is coming like in slideshow. Please check.
Ma'am, it's coming like a slideshow.
No, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's because of the internet connection. Have you paused the video? Students? Yeah.
Sir, is video is visible?
It's coming like a slideshow because of the internet issues, maybe from your side or this side.
Mm,
Sanjay sir and Bhagat sir, are you able to see the video properly?
No. We are just seeing it like a slideshow.
Yes, maybe then the internet issue is from her side.
No issue. She can go ahead with this.
Okay.
You go ahead as it is, no problem. Got stuck.
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Are you done?
Our second presentation is of SOA IPSA with code number PC301.
Good morning to all the respected and honorable jury members, faculty members, and our fellow teammates. SAR, the essence of indigenous design. When you hear the phrase indigenous, the first thing that springs to mind is local materials, vernacular construction techniques, and so on. In other words, indigenous architecture is practice of architecture of, for, and by indigenous people. However, we have attempted to instill indigenous design in a more profound approach. India's cities, resorts, and weekend getaways are becoming more and more popular. In order to enjoy a wild and free life in the midst of nature, every individual requires a break from the monotonous and unchangeable lives. The goal of a design is to create an environment that allows you to feel connected to nature while also exposing you to the local art and culture through design and architecture. So, in a nutshell, it's an amalgamation of organic and indigenous through various venues, some quiet and intimate, others busy and open, and it serves both tourist and local requirements. We have evolved our concept for the resort around these key features that reinforce our indigenous theme. Coming to the first point, which is vocal for local. For a long time, advocating for local has been a vision. Our goal is to embrace areas, traditions through employment, encouragement of local art such as dance and music, and the use of native materials like mitti for utensils, all of which helps to keep the design affordable. Then the next point is isolation from monotonous life, focusing on the resort surrounding to help visitors get the most of their lives by integrating mind and body with nature and providing therapy for physical and emotional well-being. Next is Uniqueness within. Depending on its location and features, each home is positioned in such a way that it receives a unique perspective. We have tried to highlight five of these modules because they each have their own unique elements. Fourth is recreational spaces, which are a visible reflection of our community's quality of life. Constructing recreation spaces such as gazebos that are suspended above water and allow people to sit and rest while feeling the cool air on their faces. Watchtowers from which visitors may take in the breathtaking, mesmerizing views of the resort. And the nature's mocktail bar where family and friends can relax while sipping mocktails.
Proceeding to the site evolution, the first task was to work on the site contours to observe various activity areas and captivating the points. The second step was to place guest villas in such a way that each villa has a beautiful view of the lake while also seeing different views of the jungle from different angles. The next move was placement of king and queen villa abutting the lake completely over water. The fourth step was placing the amenities like reception along with the dining and game zones areas while examining the activity and site circulation. The next phase and the most important part was bridging the gap between villas through pathways and allotting parking space and entry exit points. Also, the site will have watchtowers to witness the mesmerizing view of the resort. Our aim was to create exceptional and memorable weekend destination that will capture the imagination of all the visitors and provide a mesmerizing vacation experience. To make the utmost use of nature and to dominate nature over the entire site, not a single tree was taken down, and we only achieved an 8 to 10% of total ground coverage.
As each of the 22 guest villas has a unique planning approach, we have covered 5 of them. So here it goes. The first module named as Queen Villa. This villa was created with light and space in mind and is perfectly located over the lake for an exquisite experience. The living area is light and spacious with a glass floor that opens up onto the deck and provides a tranquil view of the lake. Next is King Villa, which we chose a location above a lake with distinctive features because it is a luxury villa. It has a vernacular feel to it and has a light and airy design with local materials. The Queen Villa is different from King Villa in the sense of area as it has 2 bedrooms and central courtyard that connects drawing room and bedrooms along with the study area with the glass wall, and that makes us feel like we are reading in the woods.
And now coming to the third module, it has a larger internal courtyard than the others, with water in it along with easy access from the living room and the bedroom, providing an uninterrupted view. It has also as a feature like walk-in closet and the bay window. Then now we coming to the fourth module. It is surrounded by the lush flora that has been strategically placed to ensure the best indoor and outdoor connectivity. The villa has an inner courtyard that links the living room and the bedroom, with the living room and the opening to a step deck with the lake views. And we also including the step deck and the bath area overlooking the lake enclosed with a glass wall, which makes the villa unique than the others.
Coming to the third module, this villa provides a variety of views from different positions. Glass walls in the area like the study and the bathtub link you to the nature's lap, while the living room and the bedroom are subtly separated by an internal courtyard. In addition, there is an open shower with a bamboo enclosure for a privacy.
We advocated the use of devices such as jammers to encourage guests to disconnect from the daily grind and reconnect with nature and its beauty, allowing them to create memories that would otherwise be lost in our daily lives. We sought to arrange villas in such a way that each villa has a distinct perspective and layout, which enhances the user's experience because each villa has its own amenities. Indigenous people, culture, and custom are all included in addition to local resources and construction abilities. As a result, Gerua and Chuna are used as painting materials which are completed by locals in order to boost local employment. In India, art and culture have long been essential. As a result, our goal in constructing a multifunctional hall is to help people reconnect with their roots by highlighting many forms of art, culture, dance, and traditional music that they may ignore in their hectic daily lives. In today's fast paced environment, yoga and ancient practice and meditation have grown increasingly popular. As a result, our goal is to create a location where people can escape from their hectic and tangled life. For the durability and security of the guest villas and occupants, the base of the structures are made of rubble masonry as a termite proofing, which will limit the penetration of insects in the structure and in the interiors as well. Thank you.
Now may we have our third presentation, that is of NIT Hamirpur with code number PC325.
Very warm good afternoon to all of you. We are entry number PC325, guest villa. Starting with the famous quote of Louis Khan, the famous renowned architect, a room is not a room without a natural light. So we have taken this particular thought into our consideration, and we have designed an indoor heaven, a native eco villa that is all about beautiful shapes, smooth polished curves, and that incredible view in front of that is a form of lake, located within an easy stroll from that central square. And it is a perfect fusion of indoor and outdoor living, allows everyone who is coming and occupying the house space to enjoy the wonderful sunshine. So now starting with the site analysis which we have carried on at this particular site. So the site location was the village Jatoda, Khanwa Road, Indore, Madhya Pradesh. As we know, Indore is very renowned for the cleanest city of India.
I think, Shreya, we should skip on this because all of them have the similar kind of data and they are just repeating that. So let's stick to their design and talking about that.
Sure. Please move to the
Interpretation.
next slide.
Maybe interpretation of this data is something you can talk about. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. So the CAD file which we were provided with the details of the trees location and all, we kept that into consideration, and we designed the site plan according to so that we can give reality to our project. So the guest villa which we have proposed are basically depending upon the site analysis which we have done in the previous slide. So if we can zoom to the right portion of that slide, we have kept on the 3-4 things in our mind. One is the approach. So the approach is from the 4-meter cart lane. From that particular west side, we can have the 4-meter entry with the paved path to the leading to the villa entries. This one, and then we have considered like how we can provide an angle view so that it can provide a view to the lake. So we have a 4-meter distance between the two villas and a 30-degree angle between, and the internal road which is leading them towards the site circulation, which we can clearly see in our site plan. So the another thing was the categorization of the particular spaces. So we have keep these in the villas into the south portion and some to the west and some to the east, so that the maximum proportion of the site can be covered without cutting down the trees. So and the primary factor was also the wind flow and the sun path. So natural light and the comfort is the thing which we have kept in mind while designing our villa. So our villa is like inside the villa we have a spa, private bar, and has been provided for user and experience comfort. So Indore Heaven is basically a villa featuring undulating roofs that allow natural ventilations and cross breeze as well. If we come to our design part, how we have proceeded with the design part, yes. So as we know, we provided the contour site. So we kept in analysis of the contour, how we can modify and how we can actually make this particular villa into reality. So if we can see changes, 0 is on the the bottommost part of the site. It has the contour difference was around 5 meters. So the chainage we can see in the 90 where the chain is 90 meters. The slope was little higher. So we thought of applying, and we did it about the cut and fill method with the retaining walls as a structural stability for our villas, so that it can provide a structural stability during any disaster, and it can provide a stable unit as well. So coming to the conceptual part, how we have derived the conceptual and inspiration from that. Can you move to the next slide? Yeah, this one. Yes. So the categorization of spaces were depending upon the two things. One was the inner core. Inner core were primarily for the private spaces. Then the second core was about the connecting the private spaces zone with the outdoor of that particular sleeping unit. So that was led by the a small walking unit that is going down that this ground floor. Then the third part is the connector. Connector is we are providing form of a balcony of a sleeping unit. So it is a completely private space for the couples so that they can have a view of a lake, and it is more into those time which we can spend together in a very private kind of thing zone. And the second one is the circle. This circle is particularly defining zone for the recreational spaces and the outdoor. So this is the kind of a barrier which is defining the zones about the recreational and the private zones which are inside that particular villa. So if we can see that the outdoor zones are mainly a recreational zones which we have put in our design. So the recreational zones, by that we mean to say is the ground floor consists of a bar, spa, bonfire area, and open deck with the sitting spaces. So these particular spaces we have categorized into, and the recreational zone for the couples and the occupants which are coming, and the sleeping units and the private zone over there is for particularly only for the private occupants and those who want this to spend their time lonely. Then if we come to the concept how we have actually formed this, so everyone knows that nature has adopted the spiral shape as a very efficient design for growth. And if we can see the circular buildings have very smaller eco footprint, and so the living space having it actually costs less in as compared to the other building who has the shapes of any rectangular or square. So this means if it has a less surface area, so it will be having a less contact with the adverse weather conditions. So it can improve the overall durability and energy efficiency of the particular villa. So this can make the our villa as in sustainable and environment friendly as well because of the material. So coming to the material part, we have used thatch roofing. And the next we'll be discussing about the details, and the shape also prevents from the noise penetration from the outside particular adjacent villas. So the curved spaces, the curved shapes and the smooth surfaces are provided such that so that it can provide the noise of outside not to come inside. And the other thing which we have kept in mind are the elements which we have provided in this. One thing is the moving windows. So these are the windows which we provide to keep on one thing in mind for the natural ventilation thing. So the natural light which can penetrate into that, it can even it can assure the people who are coming and staying in that this is a comfort zone, and yes, they would like to spend more time in this particular villa than a normal user people used to spend. If then we come to the next part of the slide, we have the site section and the floor plans where we have categorized the spaces. Yes. So these spaces are such categorized like as I have already mentioned, the ground floor consists of recreational spaces. So it has a bar, it has a bathroom, and it has a spa area. The spa area is an area where people can have a drink, they can have a chit chat. If they want to sit, they can have a view of that outside lake with a large window. We can show that in the view as well. And the completely first floor is about the sleeping unit. So it has one bedroom with an ample amount of moving space with a balcony. And then if we come to the detailing part, like how the thatch roofing has been put into this villa. Yes. So the roof construction is such that it is done into the layers. The first layer was the frame-like rafters and purlins which are used in a metal fabrication. So, and the second layer, these first layer will be kind of a base layer which will provide and support to the roof. Then second will be the 6 mm thickness of a bamboo tiles panel and ceiling. So bamboo tiles is a connector which will give an aesthetic view to the ceiling. So it will not give a bad impact to the user, and as well it will be aesthetic view. And the third layer is the primary and the most important thing, that is 100 to 300 mm thickness of highly treated nature thatch. So this thatch can be procured from the locally, as well as it can be installed very easily. So the construction cost and the efficiency of the building can be increased. And the fourth layer can be used as a preservative coats, like if you want to use some pesticides and bacterial protection coating, we can use that. In terms of quality, it is made of highly dense lead, that is 300 mm thickness, so it can last very long. Then coming to the maintenance, it does not need any regular maintenance. just kind of, I have already mentioned that it can be used as a preservative coatives. Then it is a water resistance if the roof slope is at an angle of 45 degrees, and it has a lifespan of over more than 20 years. So and the most primary thing was also about the climate thing. In the building will be cool in the summers and in the warm in the winter. So these two factors can control the environment throughout the that inside spaces of the villa. And the material which are I've already mentioned, the thatch materials. The exterior roofing is the durable natural thatch, and the interior is made up of the bali glass ceiling, or it can be simply made of the bamboo ceiling. And then we come to the right part of the section. We have the thatch room to the upper, the outermost layer. Then we have the wooden rafters. Then we have the wall, which can be of the 300 mm. Then we have the gutter. So gutter is kind of the water management system, which is which is common in everywhere. So we have provided in the villa as well. Then we have a large window is to the bottom side of that in the recreation zone. Then we have the ground level. So in ground level, we can use an apron concrete filling. So that thickness can be vary from 75 mm to 80 mm. So providing that will surely have during the rainy season, so that the water will not retain in that particular ground level. It will surely move towards the lake part. And then we have the retaining wall providing a structural stability. And then we have the PCC layering to providing and finish, and that is the mandatory part of that villa construction. Then we have some views in the last particular slide. Yeah, so this is the side view. We have considered the primary factor that we should not cut the trees. So we have placed the villas quite at a gap of 4 meters in the lower portion and
Your last slide.
And then this is the sleeping unit, which I have talked about, with the private balcony in the top floor. Then in the bottom part, we have the recreational zone with the bar. And this is the site view with the deck, which is going with the we can use the concrete post for giving a stability to the wooden that planks which are supporting with the that portion connecting to the villas. So this is primarily only to the that's all from our side. That is good PC 3 to 5 years villa. Thanks a lot.
For second category, that is dining facility, may we have our first presentation, that is of Pillow Modi College of Architecture with code number PC327.
In that either we can use
Nothing is art if it does not come from nature.
Check your sounds.
Accessible ramps, accompanied by e-cart services. There are 3 points of entry, one for the group and private villas, and other 2 as common entry points for visitors of all groups and services. The main entry directly takes you to the roof of the dining facility, staged with domical light wells. These domes in the roof level are decorated with tribal art and engravings of Gond and Pithora tribes, helping in its preservation and promotion, as well as providing various interesting viewports and buffers, giving its visitors a taste of indigenous culture and art. Making one's journey interesting and engaging, this level contains a plethora of staircases, which helps in easy access and transitioning between the aerial treetop dining and main dining below. In this sheet, the approach into the dining area is made from different sides purposefully so that the visitors get to experience different routes of views and activities. The main dining is designed in accordance to the various factors like points of accessibility, solar lighting, natural ventilation, views and vistas, workable contours, the lakes, etc. The lake in front of the site provides a scenic environment for an experienced dining convention. The roof design is moderated by the allowance of sunlight and natural lighting. Numerous light wells shaped and arranged organically allow the natural lighting to prevail inside the building throughout the day, creating a dynamic environment. Constructed using vernacular methods, the building is shaped organically, admiring the slope of the site. The main dining space is zoned into 2-seater dining, raised 4-seater dining, 8-seater family dining, cave dining, buffet counters equipped with services and live counters. Next sheet. Other than the main dining, we have 2 more categories of dining facilities. That is the tree-top dining facility and the lake dining. The tree-top dining facilitates a 5-seater dining space, which can be accessed using a staircase that spirals around the trees. It is majorly made up of bamboo frameworks covered with weaved shale roofing and supported by bamboo and timber joinery systems as shown over here. The lake dining is designed as branches spaced from the dock that leads into floating boat dining pavilions. Each unit has a 6-seater dining space that can provide a mesmerizing view of the site and the lake while dining. The units are joined to the dock using timber support systems. Bamboo and wooden joinery methods are used to construct the covered units, whereas the central circular dining at the dock is a public open dining space that can accommodate around 30 visitors. In the next sheet, next. According to the site, the level of approach, that is the roof level, acts as an intermediate transition level with an aerial view of the entire site for the visitors to move ahead. They can either ascend towards the treetop dining facility or descend into the main dining hall that is designed wisely to utilize the striking slope and structure of the site. The roof level includes an organic circulation pattern through the extruded roofs and leads into the main dining facility via different staircases from different directions. It is done purposefully to make the visitors go through different routes of interesting views and activities. It has reception counters, pantries, and spacious dining spaces that would serve the visitors with beautiful views and vistas of the lake, the surrounding flora, and of course, a moment to cherish the refreshing breeze through the lake. As we are encouraging a self-sustainable design, the built-ups are decided to be a result of vernacular materials and techniques. Bamboo and timber structural systems, mud and thatch, along with waterproofing, are some of the examples that can serve the purpose in an efficient way. Local workmanship, skills, and art have been incorporated to strengthen the importance of preserving indigenous resources and skills. In this sheet, the ecological decorum has been maintained by introducing domestication of poultry in the steep voids, who would eventually be a part of the ecosystem by cooperating with the surrounding resources. Products obtained from them would replenish the soil fertility, which would facilitate an on-site farming and gardening unit. Small-scale agricultural farming has been prioritized on the site that also serves in stabilizing the ecosystem. The irregular vernacular roofing serves as a base for local birds to nest and serve as a scenic experience for the visitors. Wastes obtained by visitors would be utilized for making the environment self-sustainable by the help of biotoilets and biogas plants. Cultivation of fishes in the lake can also be improved. These processes together would constitute a stable ecosystem in our site. These factors overall make an eco-friendly and self-sufficient design that beholds the future of the architecture. And finally, we have provided an overall cost estimation, which shows the major materials to be used according to the space's requirements, their areas, unit prices, and labor costs. The materials like bamboo framework, wooden planks, bamboo waved roof, waterproofing sheets, thatch roofing, burnt red bricks, timber structures, and mud plastering used are vernacular and low cost, which are used to make our buildings sustainable. Later in this calculation, an estimated percentage of drainage, plumbing, firefighting arrangements, electricity services, land development, and landscaping costs, which gives us a grand total of rupees 10,15,862. This can erect an efficient, affordable, and sustainable dining facility for the required fields. With this, we would like to conclude our presentation. Thank you for your patient hearing.
We are really sorry for technical issues. So our second presentation is of NIT Hamirpur with code number PC322.
So we were directly inspired by the beautiful landscape and the greenery that is present on the site. So Hirava is a word that is derived, that has roots in Marathi as well as in Sanskrit, and it means green or greenish. So what we wanted to achieve with our design was that we wanted to create an interconnection of green spaces that would flow from the exterior, being incorporated into the interior. So the space would be an amalgamation of a self-sustaining kitchen garden directly serving to the dining facility. So it would be a concept would be purely organic. Food would be served directly farm to table. And we were also inspired by the rock shelters and the Bhimbetka cave arts that are present in Madhya Pradesh. So we wanted to create an ambience of mystery as if you're entering into the contours, into a cave sort of structure to go inside and then finally see the breathtaking views of the lake. So developing with these points in mind, we started our form development, which can be seen in the images below. So we segmented our plot into two different parts. So the first part would be for the entrance and the next for the dining. Now, since our plot is facing towards the lake, towards the south, we wanted to give the breathtaking views, but also take into account the glaring of the sun. So we decided to place it at the ridges and the windows at a certain angle, and then to connect it with the contours so that it seems to be emerging from the landscape. We have incorporated slopes and steps into our form so that it merges in with the surrounding. Moving on to the next slide. Vishali?
Yeah, so let us now dive into the planning of Hirava. So from a distance, at a first glance, the structure seems to emerge at this particular place. The structure seems to emerge from the ground in the form of slope that lie in harmony with the surrounding. The structure is constructed over an area of 180 square meter. So as we enter the dining facility, we have a nice big opening in the outside that lets the user connect with the surrounding landscape. The reception is the first place of contact between the dining and the user. So it is designed to important space of the entire dining facility. We have a private space for the restaurant workers, which is known as the service and storage area, and then a public space for the user washroom. A common public seating area is also given for people to wait if the tables are full or fully booked, or like if they want to rest after a nice meal. So the reception table is placed in such a way that the staff of the restaurant have contact with the people in the dining as well as the entry exit part of the reception. So the user then enters the dining, which is situated on the best spot of the entire site, which allows them to enjoy the breathtaking views of the lake. The interior has rocky elements with indoor plants that match the vibe of the surrounding landscape. This also provides the opportunity for the design to free flow between the inside and outside of the structure. The windows of the dining are placed in a triangular manner, as my partner explained. So it is used to provide the best view as well as to protect the people from the harmful sun rays and provide shade on the inside. So overall, this is the planning of the restaurant, planning of the dining. So these features not only reflect the ambience, but also facilitates farm to table experience of the dining hall. Moving on to the next slide.
Now, in terms of constructions, we wanted to opt for materials that would be durable in the long run, but also would work well with the concept that is Hirava, and it would work well visually and would keep in mind the climatic factor into account. So towards the right, as you can see, we have a stone trench foundation at the bottom supporting our entire structure, which won't destabilize the soil that is present there. And it is also pretty efficient and sustainable in nature. We'll be topping that with a soling before we have the flooring. And as for the form itself, it is to be made of eco bricks to give the desired shape. Eco bricks are pretty durable and eco-friendly, and they are great for the environment here. Next, we have a hollow core RCC slab that is on the top that would be supporting the green roof that we have. As when it comes to the steps and the slopes that we are incorporating into the design that are merging with our form, they are to be made of RCC again, with a retaining wall that is taking the holding back the slopes, which are made up of eco bricks again. Moving on to the next slide.
So in this slide, the rest of the fabric incorporates natural stone with wood elements in the interior. The dining is not just restricted to the interior, but also extends the feel of the space to the exterior too. The sloping walkway and the circular steps, they imitate the contours on the side and they allow the user to relax and have a good time. This provides the people an opportunity like an outdoor setting area where they can have their food in the comfort of family, friends, and the surrounding. The sloping walkway and the steps, they lead to the rooftop garden with fresh organic vegetables and herbs growing over them. So this allows the user to have a much more immersive experience and letting them know about what they're about to consume. Overall, the structure fits and grows with the surrounding landscape, providing a pleasant, memorable experience.
That's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation. We'll be taking the questions now.
Our third presentation is also of NIT Hamirpur with code number PC316. For last category, that is tree house, may we have our first presentation, that is of MANIT Bhopal with code number PC306.
Good afternoon, respected jury and everyone present here. We are PC306 Treehouse. Our project title is Wildering Woods, an escape to Chimera, meaning an escape into a fantasy land, an illusion, which we dream of. Coming to the introduction of our treehouse is nestled up in branches of tree. It is it is nestled up in such a way that it provides a scenic view to our guest of the surroundings and the tranquil water body, the nature, and the views of all this the site. After this, coming to the theme of our treehouse. So our theme is basically based on creating illusion and camouflage. As the brief that was given to us was based upon creating something that is unusual from the regular mundane life. So what we did was we created our design that will give a sense of illusion to the guest coming to our tree house, which will inspire the guest imagination and their experiences at the facility. After this, coming to the concept of our tree house. So our concept was based on two major factors. First, the growth rings. The growth rings, as you can see, a tree trunk, the cross section of the tree trunk, there you can see growth rings. From there, we have inspired our concept. And the second concept was inspired from the tree trunk itself, the cylindrical part of the tree and the branches protruding from it. So moving to the next slide.
The next slide is about the site analysis. Our site is located on the outskirts of Indore. The area is 8 acres. We have listed down the proximities like hospital, transportation, schools, and our tree houses are placed on the around northwest side, which we can see here in the site location plan. We have done site zoning.
Basically our concept, the proximities, and from the proximities we can see that our site is well connected to many of the transport systems in Indore and to the nearest service facilities like hospitals, etc. According to moving to the site zoning, we have placed all the 8 tree houses on the north and western part of the lake, so that from we can gather the views towards the south and east side of the lake, while the sunsets and all views we can see. Also the sunrise view from the east side would be wonderful to watch. And moving to the plans, as our member mentioned, our concept was derived from the tree trunk, the growth rings of the tree trunk, which are circular in shape and protrude radial from the center. We have our plan is in radial in shape. Also we have designed a 2-floor layout for the treehouse, separating the semi-private and private spaces. On the ground floor, in the central, we have the staircase around the tree. The major concept of our treehouse was that the tree goes through the center of the treehouse, and using the tree trunk, we have this staircase around the tree trunk. And on the ground floor, we have the living area, the dining nook, and a small pantry for the guests' needs. Also, we have a bay window protruding out like a branch from the treehouse. We have decks almost all around the ground floor, which are cantilevered. Also, on the first floor, we have the bedroom, the private space, and a semi-open sitting space outside the bedroom. The living area is double height to provide the guests with a grand feeling. Also, we have a deck on the first floor also, which has a semi-open hot water bath and a hammock net to relax and enjoy the beautiful scenery outside. We were provided with the area restriction of 800 square feet, and our approximate area comes out around 600 square feet. Also, we have here are some renders, views of the site, views of the tree house, which tells us about the design innovations like the semi-open hot water tub and the hammock net, the bay window, the living area, and the dining area. Moving on to the elevations and sections.
As our inspiration was based on the tree trunk. So our elevation is in cylindrical shape, just like the tree trunk. And some of the experience spaces looks like a branch protruding from it. Then our ground floor deck level is at a ground floor deck level is at 4.6 meter above the ground level. Above it, there is also a first floor deck level. Then our first floor, then our ground floor finish level is provided just above our first ground floor deck level, and above that we have our first floor finish level. And then we have a roof above it. It has two parts. And at the top level of the roof is at 12 meter. Yes.
From the sections also we can see, ma'am, the basic answer. The support system bracing is at 3600 clear height from the ground level, so as to provide free movement under the tree house as well. And we have considered basic slab thickness and support system thickness at 200 mm. Also, our ground floor to ceiling height is at 3000 mm, and on the first floor, the floor to ceiling height at the walls is 2400 mm, which later on increases as we go towards the center since our roof is sloping. And now the support framework, as we had to suggest the support framework for the tree house, we have provided minimal support, easy to time, less time consuming. The base support is of concludes 4 logs, cylindrical logs of approximately 300 mm diameter, which are braced to adjacently and forms the basic support structure. Above that, we place the grid pattern. We have designed a grid pattern of 600 mm by 600 mm to support the ground floor and the major of the treehouse. It is braced to the tree trunk as well as the 4 support system above mentioned. Similarly, the first floor support is also a grid pattern which has a cutout for the living area double height. And for the roof, we have purlins which are braced to the top of the walls at the wall corners, and at the rooftop the roof is braced to the tree as well as the purlins. Also, we have above the roof, we'll cover the roof with some leaves and all, so as to provide a green roofing and to blend in with the nature. And the material palette, basically the material palette is all from the nature to blend in, and the upholstery, like we have decided to use a bohemian style.
About the access methods, we have provided staircase which can be around. The staircase leads to the pathway above the ground, which further leads to the tree house. We have provided the pathways in such a way that we provide a common entrance, not just a separate entry for every tree houses. Also, the pathways are provided above the ground because we wanted to give the experience of something wonderland, which the guest will feel as if they walk through the path. They will feel like they're moving up in the sky, and it is like a fairy tale. It gives a fairy tale vibe to the guest. And the staircases are provided at the nearest junction of every pathways for proper and easy access.
Here are some renders for the interiors as well as the exterior of the tree houses.
May we have our second presentation, that is RV College of Architecture with code number PC331.
Good afternoon, everyone. We were working on the treehouse project, and we were looking at a treehouse which is not just a shelter for a person or a human being, but also it shelters the ecological system itself, where the tree, humans, and the life around is a part of it. So, for that, initially we had to get a very strong understanding of the site. So initially, we did the ridge and valley analysis for the entire site to know which is the best location for the tree house. So according to the analysis, the valley like kind of flows down towards the southeastern side. So the northern side of the lake, we found it ideal for the placement of the tree houses because it not only provides good view of the lake, but also according to the wind direction, which is from west and southwestern side, and the winds would flow across the lake and helps in cooling down the overall temperature, and the microclimates become comfortable eventually. To the type of tree found on the site, it was cork oak, and the type of the tree was kind of, it is 20 meters high, and it is a bit short tree which has twisted branches and a low twiggy kind of appearance. Keeping these factors in mind, we found that we should go for a minimalistic approach, which would not only provide us with the idea of like maybe I integrate, it helps in like the future growth of the plants as well. Coming to the concept, like when we are using tree as an element in our design, the question arises that we are using the tree for our design, but at the end, what are we giving back to the nature or giving back to the tree? So we thought when we are designing, it should not be that it's only for the present, but considering the future growth of the tree, like the tree as a living element, how it would respond to our building and how more comfortable it would be. So hence, like we went for this minimalistic approach. Even when we are selecting the site or the location, we went for the steeper locations. Like although we would have, we went for a pile foundation kind of thing to anchor it strongly, but then in these steep slopes, the chances of new plants growing were comparatively less than the flatter slopes because of the valley lines or the ridge lines we analyzed. And on that basis, when we take this slender bar, which is 15 meter across 4 meter, it is like kind of overshading a smaller area and has a very small ground coverage area compared to others. And hence it helps in the future growth of the plants as well. And then coming to the ecological diversity over here in the right side diagram, this diagram, it shows that how we are connecting both land, water, trees and ecological system together. So in the lower level where the people can access to the lake, and then at the upper level is the dwelling, and then the topmost level is the ecological part, like thought of these vertical portals being the house for the birds as well. Like coming to this element of verticality and horizontality as well, this was inspired from the tree itself. So how the horizontal element is the shade provided by the tree, and the verticality shows the strength and the circulation in the tree. Similar idea was what about? Sir?
Yes, please continue.
Yes, sir. So this verticality and horizontal element was kept in mind, and we used tree as the vertical circulation element, and then the idea of shelter was brought in, like where we are providing a primary shelter. Like this was made slender in order that when people are inside a slender bar, the tendency of looking outwards is more, and they more open out towards the nature. Like people coming over here should not be like they're restricted in this lavish room that they're not even interested in going outside. So this was kept slender for the winds to pass along and give it a cooling effect as well. And also they are always connected to the exteriors and the nature throughout. So this is the ground floor plan. So the whole idea of the cantilever was brought in, and then the primary entrance for this was like we thought of giving 3 accessible routes. One was the pedestrian walkway from the main entrance to from the hut, and the other one was from the internal road, and the third one was the waterway as well. So in the 8 dwellings we were provided, like we wanted the lake to be the primary connection between all of them. This is the main tree, and this is the spiral staircase where we are going to get in from here. So, the central left side tree is the anchorage tree, from where even in the elevation you can see the spiral staircase where we get in, and that connects to the living area. From that, on the right side is the closet and the bedroom space, and on the left side is a small dining and a recreation space. Throughout the bar, we are orienting it or tilted it in such a way that it is perpendicular to the wind, and the wind crosses across the slender bar. And the idea of the pool was not to disconnect from the lake, but then when we are providing people interaction below to the lake, but then like looking at the people like who are going to visit, like we really did not want the lake to get contaminated. So this lake would be like easier in cleaning and maintenance as well, and it does not have any visual barrier with the lake in the sense. And this is not a swimming pool, but then just like a pool which helps in cooling down the temperature as well. Like during the summers, maybe the water levels could go down, but then this would provide which would help in cooling down the temperature eventually. This is the cross sections we cut across various pieces of this slender bar. One is the cantilevered part, where you can see the 2 portals which are like kind of supporting, and it looks like a floating thing. And then these kind of I section beams are the primary structure for this, and we are for the slab we are using a filler slab method, which is kind of indigenous to this place and also helps in cutting down the dead load, and as well as helps in thermal cooling because of the insulation provided by those pots. Those clay pots are eco-friendly as well as can be reusable. Going to the next slide. So these are the few longitudinal sections we cut across. So this shows the various kinds of activities which are happening and how it blends out to the landscape. Like on the western side is the facade, which has solar glazing facade, as well as like southern facade is the most suitable to have the solar panels, as well as it helps in giving a lake view. And on the northern side is the veranda space, which opens out into the deck area where people could come out and gather at times. Going to the next slide.
We cannot see next slide.
Just a minute, sir. This is the material palette which we use. Starting with the basic structure, we went for the steel structure, steel as the main component of the friendly as well as reusable. These kind of truss systems sit on the facade on the I section beams, which act as the beams on both the floor and the slab. And then coming to the facade skin, we went for the wood and aluminium composite louviers. The wood is these are the woods which are locally available, using which these kind of louviers are made. These are operatable louviers which can be controlled according to the needs and according to the climate comforts. And coming to the flooring, it is a steel deck flooring, which also is one of the methods of reducing the dead load. As we were going for the slender and cantilevered kind of design approach, it was very important for us how do we control the heat as well as make it lightweight. Like coming to the Madhya Pradesh indigenous practices, because of providing thermal comfort, those were like kind of thick walls, but it was not kind of too much suitable for this. So we kind of adopted how much ever was possible, like the filler slabs which are used in this the ceiling part, which helps in providing the thermal comfort as well as helps in reducing the dead load. And then coming to the flooring, we went for these wooden panel floorings, which kind of is more sustainable as well as gives a feeling of being present inside. And these two portals, in between which we are giving a skylight kind of a thing, which not only like connects people across landscape water, but also connects them to the sky and brings in the element of three-dimensional in the design. And it has a pergola as well. And the glass facade is provided shading by the tree, which is on the western side of it, and helps in cutting down the harsh sunlight as well. And coming to the next slide. So this is the service integration sheet where we kind of calculated the electric loads and how it could be recovered by the solar panels. Like we went for this transparent solar panels which were used, which helps in providing the lake view as well, and also helps in recovering the electrical loads. So for that we calculated the load, and like almost most of it could be recovered by these solar panels. That was our inference, which we draw from that. And then coming to the plumbing services, where we kind of thought of where the grey water would be decomposed at the site, and the solid waste could be connected to the main sewage line of the city. So this was the whole idea of the project. And these were few of the views of the project. And the bottom one is the interior view. And this is the idea of horizontality and verticality. Like the vertical element could have been just a wall or a tower, but then it was very important that we consider the growth of the tree as well. And even we thought of providing homes for the nests for birds, like during the winds and all, these nests could blow away. But then if these portals are in the hidden view of the tree, even the birds would be comfortable to use such spaces. If we put it on a stark open space, it would not be usable. this talks about the interaction with the nature at 3 levels. One is the interaction at the lower level where they are connected to the lake, and at the second level it would be the human shelter space, and at the upper level would be the tree and the ecological balancing state. So yeah, that's it.
Presentation, Manu. So let's see our last presentation of this session, that is of SOA IPSA with code number PC315.
Good evening, jury members. The site we have been given is a contoured site with natural water body around. We have many trees within our site. While placing the tree house, the main focus was to explore the view and avoid hindrance of one block to the other. As the site in itself is so beautiful, the site is kept virgin to have a purely natural experience. The pathways and the approach is also undefined and will be used as the natural terrain is available. The key idea was to live within a jungle in a purely natural atmosphere without any artificial landscape. Indore has a lot many resorts near its surrounding. That is the main reason I kept the site untouched so that the guests can experience the nature around with the tree house placed randomly all over the site. Now coming on to the tree house. As the brief suggests, and even what I feel as an architectural student, whatever we design within any natural environment should be a part of it. Nature itself gives us many design ideas. It has various forms, shapes, curves, and also abstract compositions into it. The concept behind the tree house is derived from the tree itself. The branches of the tree is the inspiration behind the design. The structure is developed in an irregular pattern, same as the branches of the tree, which has resulted in creating few interesting balconies, niches, and nooks. All the tree branches are irregular and distinct in shape, but still gives a composite form to the tree. The overall plan and the composition follows the same. The tree house is designed as a series of transitional spaces with living and bedroom separated to each other with a glass bridge, which gives a chance to explore the wildness and the natural beauty. This will offer our guests an opportunity to experience the idyllic location nested up in the air with birds in trees and experience spaces. Now, moving on to the plan, the entry to the tree house will be through a spiral staircase. The interior spaces replicates the external facade with an undefined sitting space. An abstract use of material palette has been done. The sitting in the living area is an informal sitting developed according to the floor plan. Highlighting feature is the glass balcony, capturing the scenic beauty around. The bedrooms is connected with a glass bridge. Bedroom is placed in a position to capture the view of sunrise. Use of wood, stone, and transparency through glass connects it to the nature around. Though the plan is developed in an abstract pattern, nowhere the utility and functionality part is compromised. The spaces is designed in such a manner that the guests enjoy each and every part of it. The materials those have been used for creating the treehouse is the seasoned teak wood, so that it can withstand all the weather conditions. The structure is made up of MS pipe cladded with teak wood. The walls and the roofs are created with the idea to create completely natural effects. So the seasoned teak wood will be cladded on MS structure on both the sides with insulation material. The stone used is the sandstone floor, customized at site in an abstract manner. The glass used is DGU, double glass unit, used for sound and thermal insulation.
Great things come from hard work and perseverance. Congratulations to all the winners on behalf of SOA IPS Academy. A great principal builds character, inspires dreams, encourages creativity, builds confidence, instills a lot of learning. Now, I would like to invite our principal, Dr. Manita Saxena ma'am, to welcome all the dignitaries and share a few words.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So it's afternoon now. Very good afternoon to everyone on the valedictory day of International Conference, Phase 3. As we all know, IPS Academy is well reputed and highly ranked college in Madhya Pradesh, owing a crown of being first private architectural college of Central India. Bliss sum of 27 years and more to go to produce accredited practitioners, planners, entrepreneurs from his hall of knowledge. And what adds to the glory are such events that are hosted in the college, adding us to the international listing. PACE is our regular brick occurring every alternate year. PACE, which is clipped from the planning, architecture, construction, and engineering, is cynosure of researchers, scholars, academicians, professionals, and students. As the world was taken over by the COVID-19, till last year, it seemed impossible to continue our tradition of hosting an international conference. Determination of SOA team, positive attitude of students, and immense support from the IPS management made this event possible to come. Building on the success of previous conference, the theme of this event is indigenous, conception to construction, C2C. Organized from 24th of March to 26th of March today. Contained within the conference is a platform for 3 spotlights, technical session of international research papers, IPSA Design Trophy, and proceedings. To throw some light on the IPSA Design Trophy, enormous participation from about 124 students was received. Proceeding of the conference is the amalgamation of selected research papers and IPSA design entries. Moving response of around 86 research paper was received from for the conference. Strenuous situation is to select the best paper, which will be announced here forth. As Amok Gupta sir is with us, he will honor the recipient of best research paper. Here I take an opportunity to welcome Amok sir, Achal sir, and other dignitaries who present here. And I thank him for the time he spent for our conference and at the executiveness to our conference. Today, our venture, Phase 3, has successfully come to terminus. Eminent researcher speakers, national and international, graced the conference with their presence. To name a few, Architect C.R. Raju, President IIA, Architect Achal Chaudhary sir, President IPS Academy, Dr. Nadra Khan, Professor LUMS Pakistan, and many more. And our today's guest of honor, Architect Habib Khan sir. He is indulged in some unavoidable circumstances. He might join us within a minute. And Architect Amol Gupta, ex-president IIMP chapter, is with us. He is a chairperson SPA, New Delhi. And all SOA team is walking over the air to have such eminent personalities with us. I congratulate all the winners of IPSA trophy and also winner of best research paper. I also take opportunity to thank jurors of the design trophy, Architect Sanjay Patil from Nasik, Architect Surinder Bagha from Sakar Foundation, Chandigarh, Architect Kalpana Babar, and Architect Tanuja Karninde from Delhi. Thank you again. And now I would pass on the screen to Amol Gupta sir for announcement of best research paper.
धन्यवाद. आप लोगों को मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
बिल्कुल आ रही है सर.
Yes, sir. तो सबसे पहले मैं सीधे रिजल्ट अनाउंस कर दूं या अभी पिछले 1.5 घंटे से मैं कुछ देख रहा था, सुन रहा था और कल भी
सर आप उसी के बारे में अपने कमेंट देंगे तो और अच्छा लगेगा रिजल्ट से पहले.
नहीं, सबसे पहले तो मैं स्कूल ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर IPS को इसके आयोजन के लिए बधाई देना चाहूंगा. और क्योंकि मुझे याद है मैं इसके 1 और 2 में व्यक्तिशः उपस्थित रहा हूं और ये 3rd है जिसमें हम तकनीकी सहायता के साथ लोगों से मिल रहे हैं, जुड़ रहे हैं. कोविड ने हमारे में काफी चेंजेस ले आए. ये जो टॉपिक आपने लिया इंडिजिनस, जो मेन थीम है, निसंदेह आर्किटेक्चरल स्टडी और उसके लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है. जब हम इंडिजिनस पैटर्न की बात करते हैं तो ये बात है कि ग्लोबल लेवल पे भी ये चीज एक ही है कि हम वहां के स्थानीय स्तर के कला, तकनीक, सामग्री, आवश्यकताएं, इसके हिसाब से चाहे वो स्पेसेस वर्कआउट करना हो या वहां के लाइफस्टाइल के हिसाब से फंक्शनल एरियाज निकालने हो, सब पे काम करें. और यह हर क्षेत्र में या हर देश में इंडिजिनस अलग अलग होना चाहिए और होता भी था. मैं था शब्द का प्रयोग सोच समझ के करना. आप लोगों के प्रेजेंटेशन आज के भी देखे मैंने, कुछ तो बड़े नए थे. मैं एकाध मनीता से बात करके एकाध में डिटेल मंगवाऊंगा. डेफिनेटली बहुत नए टॉपिक्स थे और उस पे जितने माइन्यूट लेवल पे सोचा गया था उसके हर पहलू पर, तो उसके लिए मैं स्टूडेंट्स जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स थे उनको मैं विशेष तौर पर बधाई देना चाहूंगा कि उन्होंने इतने दूर तक की चीज सोची. अब मेरा एक जो ऑब्जर्वेशन जो मैं पिछले 5-8 साल से उसका उत्तर नहीं मिल पाया. हम हर आर्किटेक्चर स्कूल में वोकल फॉर लोकल, इंडिजिनस, वर्नाकुलर, इस सब पे चर्चा करते हैं, बच्चों को सिखाते हैं, बच्चे समझते भी हैं और उस पर बनाते भी हैं. लेकिन यही बच्चे जब डिग्री लेकर के प्रैक्टिस में आते हैं तो 90% इंडिजिनस भूल जाते हैं. ऐसा क्यों? इस पर भी विचार जरूरी है. आज इंदौर निकल जाओ, इंदौर में मालवा कल्चर में तो कौन सी नई बिल्डिंग उसके हिसाब से बन रही? नहीं बन रही. हर एक को सिंगापुर और लंदन वाली बिल्डिंग बनानी है, चाहे वो ओनर हो या उसका कंसल्टेंट. तो एक और जहां हम इंडिजिनस की बात कर रहे हैं, उनको समझा रहे हैं, और ऐसा नहीं, वो महत्वपूर्ण विषय है. इंडिजिनस इज ऑलवेज directly linked to your local culture, availability of material, local climate, local building material. But when we actually start in the practice, I'm sorry to say 10% से अधिक इंडिजिनस की बात ही नहीं होती है। तो इस गैप को हम एकेडमिकली और प्रैक्टिस के बीच में इसको ब्रिज कैसे करें, अगर हमको लगता है इतना महत्वपूर्ण है तो इसको ब्रिजिंग करना भी हम लोग का दायित्व, हम लोग की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। और अगर हम लोग को लगता नहीं है तो इस पर बात नहीं करें, क्योंकि स्टूडेंट भी कंफ्यूज रहता है। हम दो चीज बात कर रहे हैं, एक एकेडमिकली बात कर रहे हैं, एक प्रैक्टिस में चल रहा है, और दोनों के बीच में देयर इज अ ह्यूज गैप। हाउ टू ब्रिज दैट गैप, दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट। एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजर्स इस विषय पर किसी ऐसे दक्ष लोग जो दोनों क्षेत्र में काम कर रहे हैं उनसे संपर्क करके उनका एक सिंपोजियम कराएं, उसमें स्टूडेंट सारे आए तो उनको भी समझ में आए। हो सकता है कहीं पर स्थानीय स्तर पर समय की कमी, पैसा या वो भवन निर्माण सामग्री न मिलना। आज नगरीय केंद्रों पर हम पत्थर से मकान नहीं बना सकते, बांस के बैम्बू स्ट्रक्चर की बात करेंगे तो रिसोर्ट में बना सकते हैं, बट उसमें शहर के अंदर मकान नहीं बना सकते। तो उस बिल्डिंग मटेरियल का कितना प्रतिशत और कहां पर आज की तारीख में रिलेवेंटली जुडिशियसली हम प्रयोग कर सकते हैं, इसके ऊपर एक मिक्स हाइब्रिड टाइप का प्रोजेक्ट अगर हमको बनाना पड़े तो उस पर भी विचार करना चाहिए। ये कोई भी कॉन्फ्रेंस होता है, चाहे नेशनल हो इंटरनेशनल हो, ये पेस जो है इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस था, तो इसमें बाहर के देशों से भी विशेषज्ञ जुड़े, तो उन्होंने अपनी बातें बताई और इसमें प्रतिभागियों ने अपने अपने क्षेत्र से अपनी बातें बताई। तो बेसिकली कॉन्फ्रेंस विचारों का आदान प्रदान होता है और हमें दूसरे से सीखने का अवसर मिलता है। मेरा निवेदन सभी प्रतिभागियों से यह रहेगा कि इस बात पर पुष्टि और ध्यान या प्रिसाइजली जोर देने के बजाय कि मैंने क्या लोगों को बताया से ज्यादा उचित होगा कि मैंने दूसरों की क्या बात सुनी। क्योंकि आज के समाज में हम लोगों ने सुनना कम कर दिया और समावेशित विकसित समन्वित विकास तभी हो पाएगा जब हम दूसरे को भी सुनेंगे और सहेजेंगे, और अगर उचित है, हमारे यहाँ के हिसाब से उचित है, तो उसको प्रयोग में भी लाएं। तो इन सब के साथ पहले तो जो आज हो बच्चों लोगों ने इनाम जीता 15,000 10,000, उनको विशेष तौर पर बधाइयां। और सबसे अंतिम काम जो मुझे बेस्ट रिसर्च पेपर को अनाउंस करना था, तो मैंने इसीलिए उसको लास्ट में रखा कि थोड़ा सा सस्पेंस भी रहे। ठीक है ना मनीता जी? तो आई एम प्राउड टू अनाउंस द बेस्ट पेपर that is on the topic of Haveli temples of Jaipur. अगर इसमें विजेता लोग जुड़े होंगे तो वो समझ गए होंगे कि वो कौन है, और अगर वो नहीं जुड़े होंगे तो बाकी सबको संज्ञान के लिए आई एम रीडिंग
है शायद अभी
I am reading the names. It is Professor Kalpana Pandit, Dr. Tushar Chandra and Dr. Reena Surana. मेरे विचार से तीनों MANIT जयपुर की टीम है, तो मैं इन तीनों लोगों को विशेष तौर पे बधाई दूंगा, और एक बधाई इसलिए भी दूंगा कि यह शोध मिलकर लिखा गया है। तो जैसे कि मैंने अपने पूर्वार्ध में बोला कि दूसरे की बात सुननी चाहिए, ऐसे ही शोध अगर समन्वित होने लगे, लोग मिलकर करें, तो उसमें हमको विविध आयाम और दृष्टिकोण एक साथ रखने का अवसर मिलेगा, और जो निचोड़ सामने आएगा वो अधिक परिष्कृत और परिमार्जित होगा। मैं एक बार पुनः आयोजकों को, सभी विजेताओं को और सभी प्रतिभागियों को अपनी ओर से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, sir.
Kalpana is there. She wants to have a response over there. मैं कल्पना को देख रहा हूं।
I'm here.
आप वो मनीता से पूछो, यू वांट रिस्पांस फ्रॉम द विनर्स?
कल्पना मैम, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगी? अच्छा लगेगा अगर आप कुछ शेयर करेंगी तो।
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to thank the esteemed group of, what do you say? What do I say? I would not say jury critics who have found my research worthwhile to be given, this ranking as a good research paper. I can still not claim it to be called as best research paper, but this paper is basically a part of my PhD research, and I am especially thankful to Dr. Tarush Chandra, informing that his name is not Tushar, Tarush Chandra, and Dr. Reena Surana, who have been supportive and really given me a lot of intellectual input and coming to these conclusions. The topic is very close to my heart because obviously all of us know that we are so much invested in our PhD whenever we are into it. The architecture of Jaipur is quite celebrated worldwide, but for those who are users for it, and architecture of temples, especially those Vaishnava temples, I would say those, if at all remotely connected to Vaishnavas, would understand that Vaishnavism is not a religion, it's not an architectural style, it's a way of living. So it had really been very, very interesting to decipher a kind of riddle that I found out by observing at the preliminary level, that how these Haveli temples have come up as with a quite different vocabulary than the temples that we knew. Because as architecture student and as a age-long history teacher, I've taught my students, okay, these are landmarks, okay, these are, they have these chakras, this is the typology, all compartmentation which we have learned from the Western scholars. And then I realized that these temples do not fit into any of the compartments. So as I went into the philosophy of it, as I went into the, more than philosophy, the love of it, it was very heartening to find out how the lifestyle, the culture, the local practices, and everything that was so naturally came up as a completely different syntax and vocabulary in architecture, which gave birth to this particular temple typology. And it was really, really great opportunity to present it in front of the intellectual community that I found out in this international conference. So very happy to receive this, and that this came as a surprise. Obviously that builds your happiness. I thank all of you, the organizers, the critics, and the students, if they can find some inspiration or some lead for further research from it. Thank you so much. So,
thank you, Kalpana.
Thank you, sir. And good to see you in our jury. Great.
मनीता, मैं जा सकता हूँ?
बिल्कुल
Thank
सर,
you so much, sir.
सर आपने टाइम दिया उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
सर 2 minutes of your time, sir. सिर्फ 2 मिनट और चाहिए आपका।
सर 2 मिनट और रुकने के लिए बोल रहे हैं बच्चे।
Now I would like to request Amok sir to please unveiling the proceeding.
To unveil?
The
proceeding unveil करनी।
वो है कहाँ पे?
सर बस आप परमिट कर दीजिए वर्बली और वो
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सहर्ष सहर्ष।
सर ऑनलाइन में यही है।
नहीं, अभी हम लोग दूसरी जगह कर रहे थे तो उसमें स्क्रीन आ गया, उस पर क्लिक करने से हो गया था।
हाँ सर वही कर रहे हैं लोग, अभी इस एंड से कर रहे हैं।
अभी यहाँ भोपाल में रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर यूनिवर्सिटी में
जी सर।
शोध शिखर चल रहा है, वहां पर करीबन 800 रिसर्च पेपर्स आए, दैट इज ऑल डिसिप्लिन। तो मैं यहाँ से वहीं जाऊंगा।
अच्छा जी सर। Thank you, sir, for staying.
Thank you so much, sir, for staying. Architects are modern age Vishwakarmas. Their role is not to create a mere physical structure, but to nurture and develop human civilization through constant innovation, technology, upgradation, and classic creation, which are in perfect harmony with society values and environment. Through this message, I would like to request Architect Achal Chaudhary, sir, the President of IPS Academy, to address this valedictory ceremony.
Hello.
Ji,
I
ma'am.
think Achal sir left the meeting.
So then we'll just continue with the repertoire.
So it's time to present repertoire.
Anchors, please take over.
Yes, ma'am. Education is not just an act of acquiring knowledge and skill, but also an act of acquiring values and becoming a better human being. Now, I would like to request our principal, Dr. Manita Saxena, ma'am, for the repertoire of this whole conference.
Hello. Can you give me 1 minute so that I can recontact Habib sir, and if he can able to join and shower blessings?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure.
Just give me 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
I'm not able to connect with Habib sir. So I'm presenting a compiled report of all 3 days. Shall I start?
Yes, please, ma'am.
So it's time to present a complete report summary that we call repertoire. The first day of inauguration session start with a welcoming session of all the eminent guests present for the ceremony. Architect Achal Chaudhary, our patron, presented his views about the conference and extended his wishes to everyone present for the conference. Architect C.R. Raju, President IIA, graced the occasion and delivered his wisdom and appreciated the event. Architect Jitin Mehta, Chairman IIA MP Chapter, Chairman IGBC, Junior Vice President IIA, spoke on his event and charmed everyone with his smooth talk. Succeeding to this, writing by the keynote speaker, Architect Abraham Petros, was delivered. Topic of his presentation was the art and architecture of Bagora Ki Haveli, Udaipur, Rajasthan. In this presentation, he explained that how these Havelis are time-tested and conservation of such structure is essential in these times. The next half was a technical session, which began with a faculty speech by architect Sachin Paliwal. Chief City Planner Vishnu Khare unveiled his views on indigenous practice. Keynote speaker, architect Nadra Khan, Professor LUMS from Pakistan, was invited to take over the screen. She gave a brief description of Mughal art and architecture and explained about the Havelis in Lahore and Punjab. Following the speech was a technical session where paper presentation of the research paper submitted by the participants. First paper presented by architect Deepak Das and Gaurav Kumar, titled Native Practice of Burial and Build. The next paper presented by Rajdeep Kulshresht and Rajharshi with the title Safeguarding Indigenous Inhabitants, where they took a case of Lucknow. Finally, architect Kalpana Pandit, Dr. Reena Surana and Dr. Tushar Chandra presented their paper titled Haveli Temple at Jaipur, where they discussed about the local construction techniques with the indigenous way. Second, I start with our house faculty member, architect Neelam Kushwaha, who initiated the technical session 1. The program was chaired by architect Gaurav Shore, co-founder and the president of Swaraj. He retold our thoughts about the green building and what goes behind it. First paper was presented by Ms. Neha Vyas and Dr. Supriya Vyas, titled Architecture Building Appraisal, Sadar Panchil Bhopal. Engaging community and participation in the building and design form was the paper that followed next. The presenters were architect Priyanka Kumawat and Professor Alok Ranjan. Succeeding this monologue was presented given by the Alvin Roy, Dr. Neha Kole. Megastructures and urbanism was a subject of their research structure. Finally, the winding paper was given by Angela Darling and Dr. Manoj Kumar. The paper conceptualized the construction techniques of timber structure in Kerala. The title was An Inquiry into the Morphological Similarity between the Timber Cage Structures of Traditional Kerala Roof and Vessels. The next technical session began with the welcome speech by architect Pranjali Wakle. This technical session too was graced by the presence of Dr. Ram Satish Pasupulati, Professor IIT Roorkee. He very well drafted the presentation of adoption to climate change and indigenous knowledge. Following this session, the paper presentation was initiated. The first to present was Kumar Gupta. The paper was about building carbon natural cities, neutral cities through green roofs, pointing towards the benefits and perks of having green roofs in city. The Kath Kuni architecture is a new name, and to give a clear idea on the construction techniques used there. The paper titled Seismic Performance and some Comparative Study of Kath Kuni, Tuck and Koti Banal Construction. The author of this research paper was architect Prateek Ahirwar and architect Neelam Kushwaha. Next paper was about the adaptation to climate change, especially in institutional building. The paper named Climate Change and Adoption. The climate study of the open spaces in the institutional building. The author was Professor Mohit Agarwal and architect Urvashi Dikshit. The vision of future cities with the construction techniques was shown to everyone by the research work done by Jahnavi Kalita, Ms. Himangi Verma and architect Preeti Chauhan. They presented the paper titled Floating Parks of Future Cities. This pulled the end of technical session 2 for day 2. With a very successful and informative session, we called it a day. A day 3 was dedicated to valedictory session of conference. This session commenced with a welcome speech by architect Suman Kushwaha, faculty SOA, IPS Academy. He explained about the IPS design trophy named Wonderland. She made everyone inform about the brief about the trophy and its launch. All the process of selection of criteria was explained here by architect Suman Sharma ma'am. The information was passed on about the cash prize to rewarded the winner, which architect, president of IPS Academy, architect Achal Chaudhary announced for this event. A handsome amount of 1.5 lakh. He revealed the name of winners and awarded the titles. So congratulations to all winners of IPSA Design Trophy and research and Best Research Paper winners. With this note, I'm ending up here. And one more thing I'd like to share with you, that looking forward to meet you again in phase 4 with the same spirit of participation. And I hope that we'll meet again in offline mode in our lush green campus of IPS Academy. Best wishes. Over to Harshika madam, architect Harshika Kemkar, for vote of thanks. Thank you, and best wishes to all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very warm good afternoon from my Arish Khan to all of you. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Every celebration is an experience. The external fades away, and the internal lingers and echoes in the most depth of our hearts. We are reminded that events like this one are milestones on the journey of life and reminders of God's fidelity all through. As we come to the close of our valedictory ceremony, I invite coordinator of this international conference, architect Harshika Sahai ma'am, to propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much. It always seems impossible until it's done. These profound philosophical words helped all of us achieve what none of us sought to do about 2 years back. After its inception in 2018, we have had 2 tremendously successful chapters of PACE, PACE 1 and PACE 2. But then they say, when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. We got out of the pandemic, and then the online version of PACE 3 was conceived. It began in the middle of 2021 when our principal, Dr. Manita Saxena, was contemplating how to accomplish it, and then she came up with the most sensitive and apt concept of indigenous C2C, conception to construction. All the faculty members brainstormed, and after all the painstaking discussions and coordinations, we finally did what we aspired to do. Like they say, it's easier said than done. The coordination at an online level had its own challenges. And I, Harshika Sahai, coordinator PACE 3 on behalf of School of Architecture IPS Academy Indore, would like to propose the vote of thanks to all those people without whom this international conference would not have been possible. It's a long list, but each one of them deserves a mention. As we all know, this international conference has always had 2 distinct parts: the conference itself, which has the technical paper reading sessions, and the IPSA Design Trophy. Starting with the trophy first, the concept was envisioned by our president, architect Achal Chaudhary, our principal, Dr. Manita Saxena, and our design chair, architect Kalpana Babar. I would like to thank the judges of the trophy, architect Kalpana Babar, architect Tanuja Kanvinde, architect Sanjay M. Patil, architect Surendra Bagha, architect Sachin Paliwal, and architect Neelam Kushwa, who scrutinized each and every entry to finally shortlist the 9 lucky winners for us. It's a plethora of a task to thank each and everybody involved in the conference. So first and foremost, we would want to thank all the scholars, architects, and students who wrote the research paper for us, which is an integral part of the conference. The reviewers, namely architect A.K. Srivastava, architect Debashish Sanyal, Dr. Mayank Saxena, architect Megha Shroti, and architect Ankita Arora, for going through the painstaking job of reviewing each and every research paper to keep a quality check on the papers that get published with us. I sincerely thank all the speakers of the conference: Dr. Nadra Khan, architect Ibrahim Patros, architect Gaurav Shore, and Dr. Ram Pasupaleti for enlightening us with a vision of what indigenous actually means. They took us through a journey of the antiquity, see through the past, contemporary, live in the present, and revolutionary, experience the future. They literally jolted our concepts about the indigenous and gave a totally new meaning to it. We cannot thank enough the guest of honor, architect Habib Khan sir, who actually could not come online today, but we are certain that his blessings are with us. We'd like to thank architect Sia Raju, architect Jitendra Mehta, Mr. Vishnu Khare, and architect Amuk Gupta for gracing us with their presence. We express our sincere gratitude towards Member of Legislative Assembly of Madhya Pradesh, Ucha Babu Singh Thakur, Member of Lok Sabha, Mr. Shankar Lalwani, and ex-Lok Sabha Speaker, Mrs. Sumitra Mahajan, for their blessings and wishes. This conference would not have been possible without the encouragement, support, and hard work of each of the faculty and staff of SOA IPSA, and the commitment and dedication of our lovely students who tirelessly work day and night together to make things fall in place. We thank architect Parag Agrawal and his company, Red Grab Books Private Limited, for publishing our proceedings. Our president, architect Achal Chaudhary, and the entire IPSA management stood by us at every step, and we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude towards them. SOA IPS Academy is grateful to all the institutions that participated in this event, and it is believed that our ties with all the participating institutions will further strengthen with such initiatives. The real measure of the success of this international conference lies in how it will affect each one of us, including our participants, and more precisely, the impact that it will have on us as individuals to acknowledge the most sensitive topic of the era, the indigenous. We wish to host the 4th chapter of PACE, of course, in the offline mode, with the same zeal and enthusiasm in the year 2024. And we want to make it as successful with your loving support. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The end of a story is the new beginning for many others. On this note, let's conclude a remarkable, memorable, and knowledgeable conference. On behalf of the institution, we sincerely thank the dignitaries for being with us this morning and enlightening us with their enthusiastic remarks. I share my heartfelt gratitude to the professors and everyone of SOA IPS family for their wholehearted support rendered in the success of this international conference. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful and fun-filled evening.
Hello, everyone. I request everyone to switch on their video so that we can have a group photo. All participants, organizers, guests, and students, please. Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you so much for turning on the video. And we're so thankful to all of you to be a part of this conference. And this is where we say bye-bye to each one of you. Please take care, and we shall meet again in PACE 4. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.